what are the options available for retirees. So I'll share my screen right now to show you one slide that explains very clearly what are the different options and solutions available. So many of you might have heard some of these terms before. The difference between retirement living, retirement village apartments, assisted living apartments, and aged care nursing homes. So we hear many of the terms that's widely used today. So let's go to the first one. When people talk about retirement villages, what does it mean? So generally, retirement villages means that these are apartments, unit style living, like the HDB flats and the condominiums we have, but with lifestyle services. So you would pay monthly fees in order to access these lifestyle services. Now, what are lifestyle services? Lifestyle services refers to things, for example, like concierge services, somebody to assist you whenever you require. It would look like a hotel service desk at the ground floor of your apartment. And then there's also other services included, which means wellness services. It could be sports programs. It could be holiday activities being organized, daily yoga, art and craft, music sessions being organized. So these are all what we bunch as lifestyle services offered for people who want to live in a retirement village. In general, it's catered towards people who are independent, mobile, and they don't really want a nurse to overshadow their care, but they're just happy living in that independent environment. So in order to access these services, a fee is often included in this retirement living option. Then the second one we look at is assisted living. In the recent year, Singapore has mentioned in the newspapers a lot about assisted living options for Singaporeans. And HDB is also trialing an assisted living model that's going to be launched later this year. So what is assisted living? Assisted living is the next tier from retirement villages. Assisted living means that there is some activities of daily living being assisted with you. What are activities of daily living? This could be assistance to help you take a bath, assistance to help you with your dining, so somebody to help to feed or to prepare the meals. Then there also could be people who could help you if you're immobile, to bring you from your wheelchair to your bed, or your bed to the shower area. So it refers to people who need some level of assistance in order to carry out their daily living activities. So that is probably the simplest way to explain assisted living. So these are apartments with activities of daily living assistance services. So the amount that you would pay would be slightly more than what you pay in a retirement village, because the assistance you require might be from a licensed caregiver. So somebody who's able to provide some level of care and able to move you safely from one area to another area. Then we have the last option, which is nursing homes and aged care. So this option refers to people who need more advanced care solutions. So for example, you might have in your nursing home facility a doctor or nurses who are living in the facility itself. So this is allowing you to have 24-hour access to care. So in all these solutions, if you look at how much you'll be paying for each one, I would say from retirement living, then the spectrum goes up higher to assisted living and then nursing homes. So the idea behind everything that we do in independent living and healthy aging today is to enable people to live in solutions that don't cost as much and you don't require as much care. So retirement living, independent living, it's always what we want in future for all our elders and our family members, to be independent for as long as possible, to be healthy for as long as possible. And today we're going to look at some ideas over from our neighbors in Malaysia on what are the solutions and options available for people who want to live independently, but still have access to some of these lifestyle solutions, and also the option of care in future. So please allow me to introduce our next speaker to you. So Jeff Harrison, we've known Jeff for quite a long time, actually since the company first started. Jeff is the Managing Director of Scarisbrick International Group and Angels Care International Group. Jeff has been involved in the retirement development industry since 1990 with 2 first retirement villages in Melbourne, Australia. So in Melbourne, there's this huge environment as well as market for retirement living. The Australian retirement village industry actually started way back over 20 years ago. So Jeff has developed a 5-star exclusive resort in Fiji and luxury townhouses in Melbourne, as well as high-rise apartments in Queensland. He's also created the revolutionary aging in place nursing home care service concept, in-home nursing services called Angel's Care. It provides high-quality holistic services to Singaporean and Malaysian clients. In conjunction with his partner, Associate Professor Dato Dr. Singavelu Muthusamy in 2016 to provide services to the elderly. Angel's Care is currently operational in Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Malaysia, Switzerland, and now opening in France. So together, Jeff and Dato have since created Scarisbrick International to provide luxury retirement resorts for 6-star services in resorts starting from Malaysia and France. So the focus of these groups is to provide services for their clientele around the world to experience lifestyles of dignity with complete holistic healthcare, wellness, and hospitality services. So without further ado, please allow me to welcome you, Jeff Harrison, to our chat today. And we'll let Jeff introduce to you a wonderful world and living options available in Malaysia. Over to you, Jeff.
Thank you, Janice. There's not much more I need to say. You seem to have covered it all very nicely. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. And thank you for your interest in what we're doing to provide 6-star luxury resort lifestyles. I might just flick over and share a PowerPoint presentation, which will give you a better idea of how we're going. Can we see that?
Yes.
Okay. So about 5 years ago, Dato and I came up with this concept to provide a whole new vision for retirement living. And this came out of a dinner party I had in Melbourne with my peer group, and they said, Jeff, we don't want to go to the retirement villages you developed 30 years ago in 1990, where we've got single apartments spread over 60 acres. My mother was in one at the time and she was 84 and still had to drive from her apartment to the central hub to buy newspaper and milk. And we looked around and we saw that in Florida, they'd been using the vertical village concept of going up and down in a tower. So apartment on the 30th floor, food and beverage restaurant on the 2nd floor, serviced offices not in there, but spa, all those sort of things not there, but nursing care on different levels. So everyone could go up and down in the vertical village in fully air-conditioned comfort, never having to go out if they didn't want. So we looked at that and we combined a whole new system. We provide 6-star luxury apartments, which includes fully furnished, or you can put your own furniture in, or half-half, or choose from a blank canvas of a range of furnishings. Quality floor finishes, granite bench tops, dishwasher, cooktop, oven, microwave, etc. This PowerPoint, Janice, I'll give to you and you can distribute to the people at a future date.
Yes, that'll be great. Thank you.
Okay. We also include 24/7 push button service in each apartment. The 24/7 push button is for butler, entertainment, dining, spa, laundry, housekeeping, and nursing and care. So if someone gets a twinge at 2 in the morning, they press the push button, the butler comes immediately. He's trained in first responder, first aid, CPR, so he can keep the person blood flowing. And in the meantime, the nurse or the caregiver comes. If necessary, you're taken down into the basement where we have a Medivac ambulance 24/7 in the basement car park. So from the time you push the button and the butler comes, or your wife pushes the button, you're fully safe with a very short time, hooked up to the intensive care machinery in the Medivac ambulance. Then the ambulance can take you to Kuala Lumpur, Thailand, Singapore, wherever you want. If you have a stroke, it's arguable that you've got 4 minutes before you're brain dead. Now, a lot of people don't much care, but there's a lot of people who've worked very hard over their lifestyle, made a lot of money, have a family that they love. They don't want to be brain dead. They don't want to be a vegetable for the rest of their life. They want to have the best possible opportunities of survival in the fittest possible way. If you have a twinge at 2 o'clock in your Bukit Timah apartment or your KL or your Hong Kong apartment, what do? You hope someone calls the ambulance. You hope it gets there on time. You hope it's got the right equipment. You hope your blood keeps flowing until it gets there. It's a difficult possibility. So we focus on keeping people in the best possible lifestyle for the longest time. So we get the butler, we get dining, spa, laundry, housekeeping, and nursing and care from the push button in each apartment. And all of our staff, laundry, housekeeping, are all trained in first aid CPR. So if you fall off the chair in the restaurant, the waiter can give you CPR to keep you going until the nurse or caregiver gets there. We look after your primary health first. We have 6-star hotel facilities, reception, concierge, private restaurants, exclusive club lounge, entertainment center with cinemas, serviced offices, and as I mentioned, full butler service. We say this is 6-star because there's no other hotel in the world that we can find that provides all of those services. And it's difficult because they need a track record of providing healthcare. Hotel operators are happy to run the hotel and get a fee for service, that's all. Doctors are happy to sit in the clinic, get a fee per patient, spa, massage, fee per service. You can't provide all of them in one package. We've managed to do that, and now we're finding it is very much of interest to people around the world who want the luxury lifestyle, but also know they've got a safety net of health. We provide 5-star wellness facilities and services. So everyone who buys an apartment at a Scarisbrick resort gets a full medical evaluation up front. X-rays, ECG, blood tests. And from that, we prepare a medical management plan. We might say you need a blood test every 3 months for your sugar, or you need an ECG every 6 months. We don't knock on your door, but we know and you know, and it's just there. We have international spa facilities, including massage, facial treatment, hair salon, beauty salon, wellness projects, programs, aerobics, yoga, qigong, bodywork, etc. So we look after the people in a holistic manner. We're interested in doing anything and everything that's legal that you need in the resort. For example, Angel's Care had a client in Melbourne. She had a very bad car accident, ended up a paraplegic. She said, I want to go to the base camp of Mount Everest. So we took her. We sent 2 of our angels with her for 6 weeks through China. They hired Sherpas to carry her wheelchair over glaciers, and she went to the base camp of Mount Everest. We took another boy who was severely handicapped, a bit like Stephen Hawking. We took him on a cruise around Australia. So it's a bit of a Make-A-Wish Foundation as well. Anything that you want, we will endeavor to give you in a wellness situation, not just looking after you physically, but religious needs, holistic needs, anything that's necessary. We also suggest that these residents are okay for investment. So people could buy one now, even though they're not ready to move in. They might want to put their parents into it for a short time. They might say, that'll be great when I turn 60 or when I need that necessity. But they can also rent it back through Scarisbrick, because we'll be running conferences, seminars, anti-aging, anti-cancer, internal cleansing, all of that sort of seminar, which external people can book into, and hope through Aspire we can do all of this, as well as medical tourism. We've had a lot of interest out of the Middle East for medical tourism. At the moment, people go to KL during the Middle East summer when it's 50 degrees and the sandstorms rushing everywhere. They stay at the Mandarin, they go to KLCC and shop, and they get operations done at Prince Court. but they don't have 24/7 care in the Mandarin hotel room. We're suggesting come and stay at our resorts in Johor Bahru, the first two that we're doing, one at Tiara Desaru and one at Putri Cove. Have your operation at Glen Eagles or another hospital around JB, and then recuperate in 6-star luxury with 24/7 push button nursing. So your stitches burst at 2 in the morning, you've got someone there to look after it instantly with a Medivac ambulance in the basement. We think that there is a huge market for this medical tourism, and we've got a major hospital group in Dubai who are interested to link up with us. So as well as long and short-term residents, if you buy one as an investment, you rent it back through us, there might be more people that want to book into it for future. This is Angels Care, which Dato Singaravalu and I formed in 2016. And we've been running it in Johor Bahru for Malaysia and Singaporean high-end people aging in place. So we provide a nurse in the house or a caregiver in the house, 1 hour a month, 24 hours a day, depending on the needs of the individual family. And we found that a lot of people need this service because, for example, if you've got one good spouse, one ill spouse, one with dementia, one with Alzheimer's, the good spouse can't handle it. They might try. It might be their filial duty for the son or the daughter-in-law to try, but they end up going crazy as well. So we provide that support service. We take the relief for the people who are doing the good caregiving, give them respite, give them a chance to have a break. They might go away for a weekend. We look after mum or dad for the weekend. They know that they've got good service. They trust us, and the word of mouth spreads faster than we can resource. These are two of our girls in Johor, looking after a lady whose face is obscured. She had a full stroke at 56, and the daughter and the husband both tried to look after her. They had complete breakdowns, and we looked after her then. We've been looking after her for 10 hours every day for the last 4 years. And the daughter is very pleased with what we do. Our girls are trained by our Australian nursing managers. So we have very high quality assurance, and they have very good techniques which are generally not available across the board. This is a list of some of the services we provide, including TCM, provision of services, aging in place, palliative end of life, etc. We used to have a nursing home in Johor Bahru. We imported all the best level beds from Hong Kong, etc. But then children coming across from Singapore saying, well, you can do this in the home. What are we doing here? Why are we coming here to see Dad? Take him home and look after him there. So we did. So we closed that down and we went to totally in-home care. This is the Medivac ambulance that we use. Lots of equipment in it, all the intensive care equipment that's required. And we would have one of these in each basement car park of our resorts, 24/7, dedicated for the use of the residents. Angels Care is currently established in Malaysia, providing services to Malaysia and Singaporean clients. Australia, we've been in Australia for 3 years now. We went up to as high as 200 patients and 260 nurses and carers at one time. New Zealand, Switzerland, Philippines, we're now opening in France, as Janice said before. And later this year, we're opening in Japan, UAE, United Kingdom next year, Germany next year, etc. And the focus is we support you and your family to enjoy a better quality of life for the longest possible time in the best possible environment. Now, for most people, that starts out being their home. But we believe the Scarisbrick apartments, residences, will become a much better environment. When we first started in 1990 in Melbourne, we did a lot of research and found, because this concept was not in the market, a lot of people were sitting in empty nesters, 4-bedroom homes, big houses, big gardens. The kids had left. They're rattling around. They only need one bedroom between them. They can't be bothered doing the maintenance. The gardening's too hard. And they found eventually that this alternate lifestyle of being in a small village, which has got some services at the time, and just a small apartment to look after was very viable. We think this is now the new generation for baby boomers of that equivalence. Luxury lifestyle with all the services and everything you could need at your fingertips with a medical safety net, as we say. These are some of the concepts, but people are open to choose their own interior design fittings. We can do all of that. Hotel facilities, the reception, walkways, cinema, restaurant type concept. Very high-end dining. And you'll see later, the man who's in charge of our food and beverage is extremely good, extremely experienced, and we'll go through him in a minute. Wellness and spa, jacuzzis, plunge pools, massage, lots of beauty salons, treatments in the room as well as at the massage centres and the spa centre. Medical management, we say no matter what your level of health is when you come in, we can look after you until you're taken out by the toes. You have no need to leave the residence and go to a nursing home or a hospital unless you're having operations. We don't do operations. But you can be looked after 6-star quality in your apartment until you die. And we've been doing that very successfully with people with Alzheimer's, dementia, stroke, cancer victims. And we intend to do it very well in the Scarisbrick resorts. We have lots of wellness programs, lots of fitness, qigong, meditation, yoga, aerobics, water aerobics. There is a monthly service fee, and that includes 5 hours of in-apartment care at no charge. And that accrues over 2 years. So if you don't use it, after 2 years, you've got 120 free hours of care in your apartment. Residents pay for their own individual utilities based on their use, electricity, gas, water, etc. And the restaurant, entertainment, laundry, spa are on a usage basis. Now, we give you some discount in the restaurant and in the spa, but we don't know who's going to have 20 massages a day or who's going to have one every month. So it has to be on a usage basis. The call buttons we've already spoken about, the Mica ambulance we've spoken about, and Angels Care, all trained as first responders. We also have worldwide elite interchange. So if you buy an apartment at Tiara Desaru in Malaysia, you're allowed to swap for weeks in Putri Cove or in our resort in France that we're developing. We're currently negotiating in the Swiss Alps. We're currently negotiating for Gold Coast in Australia, as well as Darwin in Australia. So you could spend time in each of those for a fairly modest fee, which just covers cleaning and booking fee. We refrain from using the term timeshare because that's got a bad name, and it's not open to the public. So it will only be Scarisbrick resort owners who can stay in the other Scarisbrick resorts. But we know that lots of people in the retirement don't want to be stuck in one apartment for the rest of their life. So you might buy into Putri Cove and say, I want to go skiing in the Swiss Alps for 3 months. Then I'm going to go and play golf in France for 3 months. Then I'm going to go and stay on the beachfront at Gold Coast for 2 months. And you can easily do that within the Scarisbrick resort chain, being a special member of that club. So our management team, our co-founder and chairman and director of medicine, Dato Dr. Singravella Muthusamy. He's had 43 years as a registered doctor, starting in the UK and now Malaysia. He's a consultant specialist at Johor Specialist Hospital, KPJ, associate professor with Monash Medical College, general aged care, state surgeon for St. John Ambulance, etc. He's 73. He still sees 100 patients every day, even today, even during the COVID. He's working in his hospital every day. He's an altruistic, dedicated man who only wants the best quality. He's not fussed about making huge profits. He wants to create a legacy of the best quality possible. So that's Dato. Myself, a background of construction, civil engineering, project management throughout different countries in the world. Co-founder with Dato and managing director of Angels Care International Group and co-founder and managing director of Scarisbrick International Group. So we've also got Susan Wyatt, who's our director of aged care facilities. She puts together the programs, the wellness and healthy aging programs. She was head of healthy aging for Melbourne City Council in Australia for 3 years. Before that, community care coordinator for the city of Monash for 7 years. She's fantastic with healthy aging. Steve McClarty, who's our marketing manager, he was the head of marketing for a Ford Motor Company in Shanghai for 8 years. He's had extensive marketing experience throughout Asia, throughout India, Australia, etc. So he's our marketing manager. Tom Rutherford, who's our food and beverage manager. As you can see, he was asked by the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank in Hong Kong to do their 150th anniversary dinner. If you're HSBC in Hong Kong, you can ask any one of 1,000 chefs throughout China to do your anniversary dinner, but they asked him. Similarly, Toyota's 50th anniversary dinner. Sydney Opera House, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, Bank Paris. He's done it all. I spoke to him last year. He said he'd just been asked to do the food and beverage at the new Louvre Museum in Abu Dhabi. He called me 2 weeks ago because he was supposed to come up and see our resorts. He said, Jeff, I'm a bit delayed. I'm doing a big dinner party for a major Melbourne business person. The budget's 1 million Australian. And they're getting the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra to the party. And they made him the food and beverage manager for that event. So he loves Scarisbrick. He wants to do everything with Scarisbrick. He wants to pick the wine lists, the menus, train the chefs, train the waiters, even design the livery. He's totally committed to this concept. Alex Avellino is our manager of hotel services. He was the duty manager at Resorts World Sentosa in Singapore for 6 years. Now, as you know, you don't last 6 days in Singapore if you're not good, but he was there for 6 years with Resorts World Sentosa before Marina Bay Sands started. He's done Naga World opening. He opened that in Phnom Penh, Crown Princess Kuala Lumpur, Hyatt Regency in Manila, Novotel in Abu Dhabi, Shangri-La Edsa in Manila. He's our hotel manager. He's currently sitting in Philippines waiting for this lockdown to lift, to come over and start. So currently under contract, we have a Royal Tagaytay in Philippines. Unfortunately, this is the volcano that erupted about 3-4 months ago. So we're holding that off just for the minute. Subic Bay in Philippines also is under contract. 85 luxury apartments. Tiara Desaru, 329 rooms, but we have 50 in stage 1. You can see that this is beachfront in Desaru. It's a beautiful resort. Putri Cove in Malaysia, 135 rooms, but we've got 50 in stage 1. Beaucourt in France, this is about 45 minutes drive from Basel in Switzerland. And it's having reciprocal rights with La La Golf Club, which is a 6-star golf club with a Michelin-rated restaurant. So that is just on the permit list. We've just received the agreement from the council to start developing that. In the design and proposal stage, Normandy in France, this is a chateau in Normandy. The owner has given us an allocation of 40 acres next to it to build 200 apartments. La Largue in France, on the golf course itself, they're wanting us to build a Scarisbrick along the edges of the golf fairways. Darwin, Australia. We've been asked by a developer to do a Scarisbrick in this vicinity here of 250 rooms, which will be a gateway into Australia for anyone interested. Gold Coast, Australia, we're negotiating on one of these 3 towers and some other towers along the Gold Coast. Docklands, Melbourne, we're talking to some developers there about the same thing in the Docklands. Morotai Island, which is owned by Indonesia. It was used by General McCarthy as a landing staging base during the war. It's got 7 international runways, 3 to 4 hours flight from Tokyo, Taipei, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Seoul, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur. Very centrally located, and they're interested in making it the new Bali for baby boomers. And as you can see, it's a very beautiful, pristine environment. Yes, Janice?
Yep. We're all very excited about this, the stuff that you're showing. Perhaps we could do a quick tour, a quick virtual tour to look at it. Yeah.
I'm almost finished. I just got one more.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
This is also one we're negotiating, which is up in the Swiss Alps for skiing. So maintain the highest quality of life, longest possible time with Scarisbrick. Yeah? Now, we'll just run this video for you. Let me see if I can get back to...
So some of you have sent us questions about wanting to visit the facilities post-COVID-19. So we'll ask Jeff how we can visit these facilities later on. Right now, he'll take you through on a quick virtual visit.
Okay.
And this is with reference to the facility in Putri, I believe, Jeff?
Yes, this is Putri Cove. Can you see that?
Great. If anyone is unable to see the visuals or hear, please drop us a message.
Sure. So this is Putri Cove. Just going back here,
Putri Cove is in Iskandar, right, Jeff? Is it Iskandar? Great.
And you can see the Twas Bridge just in the background here if I freeze it. The Twas Bridge is just here. Second link, okay? So it's about 10 minutes drive from the second link bridge in Iskandar, next to Medini, next to Gleneagles Hospital. Next to, I say 10 minutes, 5 minutes drive.
Hello, I'm Jess. Welcome to Putri Cove Residences. We're situated in Putri Harbour, Iskandar Putri, new city in Johor, Malaysia. Putri Cove combines living, leisure, work, study, and transportation is readily accessible and convenient. It's only a 10 minutes drive to the Malaysia-Singapore Tuas Bridge.
Whoa, it looks like a luxury 5-star hotel here.
You're right. Here's a 5-star lobby. There's an exclusive concierge service and 24-hour security patrol. And here is our exclusive residence mailroom. A world of surprises lies in Putri Cove with over 30 world-class facilities spread across 3 levels. Let me show you around now. Putri Cove is equipped with an advanced security system. To access the lift, you must use an electronic keycard. Now at the multi-purpose function room. Versatile shared space, you can gather with your family and friends here for parties and celebrations. Right behind me is the Grand Lounge and Club. The lavish design is modern, spacious, and well lit, offering a very comfortable and relaxing environment with upmarket furniture and decorations. The entertainment area ahead offers a variety of games equipment that allows you to bond and interact with your family and friends.
With such a perfect leisure room, certainly they must be a dream.
Of course, exercising is an important aspect of a modern lifestyle. The huge gyms in Putri Cove are fitted with professional fitness equipment. It's a fully equipped gym with treadmills, cross trainers, weight machines, dumbbells, and more. This is the boxing and aerobics room. And here is a great space for your yoga practice, where you get to overlook the breathtaking sea view while doing yoga. We are now at the Sky Facilities deck inside this beautifully designed and well-equipped library. The chic lifestyle design enhances the spaciousness and allows plenty of natural light in. Whenever you need a break, simply look up and take in the marina view. You can immerse yourself in your favorite book here all day long. Enjoy the endless marina scenery at the Sky Observation Deck. 1 degree 15 private marina, international ferry terminal, education city, hospital, Johor Bahru State Administrative Center, and other recreational facilities are all nearby.
So, can we see Singapore from here?
That's right. On the right is Singapore, just across the sea. Putri Cove is surrounded by lavish landscaping, outdoor onsen, infinity lap pool, tennis courts, and so much more. On a hot day, fend off the heat by taking a dip in our indoor jacuzzi and lap pool. Now that you have toured the facilities, you must be looking forward to check out our show unit. The design of this unit is inspired by the marina lifestyle offerings. This unit type is 82 square meters and has 2 bedrooms. Every unit type is thoughtfully designed with spacious living room and bedrooms. Bathroom vanity, bathtub, kitchen appliances, wardrobe, kitchen cabinets, air conditioners are all inclusive. All units are in a ready-to-move-in condition. Putri Cove is ideal for homeowners who want exceptional waterfront lifestyle. Every unit has unrivaled views of the marina or sea. And did I mention that Putri Cove has won 10 prestigious international awards? Furthermore, there is no purchase restrictions for foreigners. Today's tour shall end here. Thank you. We look forward to you residing in Putri Cove Residences. Ingenious and unparalleled waterfront lifestyle is here in Putri Cove Residences.
Great, thank you everyone for watching. We'd like to go on to our Q&A section, which we think is going to be really fun and interesting, where we have Jeff Harrison with us, who's recently launched the Putri Cove Apartments, to talk about what it's going to be like in this lifestyle community for future retirees and a possible option for people who are living in Singapore and Malaysia and around the region. So while we have lots of attendees who've been gradually filling in the Q&A questions, so while the questions come in, and all of you feel free to enter your questions in the Q&A button, we'll endeavor to work through the questions and answer them as much as we can. So right now, let's field the first question. Jeff, when will we be able to view and physically go on a tour to visit Putri Harbour post-COVID? What are the plans post-lockdown?
As soon as the lockdown is lifted, it's there. It's already completed. It's finished. It's ready to be inspected. Yeah.
Great. And you know, what's the first inspiration behind doing it at Putri Cove? What's your inspiration to wanting to lead the project there?
Well, we negotiated, we talked, we visited with a lot of different resorts in Malaysia, ranging from Ipoh down to Johor Bahru. And we came up with these 2 that were the most ideal, Putri Cove and Tiara Desaru. One's absolute beachfront, fantastic property, beautiful lifestyle. And the other one's in Putri Cove and high and easy. It's like a 10-minute walk from the CIQ ferry terminal, linked direct with Indonesia, Batam, and I think it was linked with Singapore before, maybe not right at the moment. And because of the quality of service that we can provide in the quality of facilities they have. So we're very impressed with these two. We've taken these two. We've only got 50 apartments to sell in stage 1 in each place. So if people are interested, they can pay a booking fee until they can get in to see it. But we can guarantee that the resorts are there and they exist.
I think many of us would like to perhaps book on a tour of after the lockdown period, and certainly to have a great look. And so how much does it cost to live there? It's all down to the money, right? So everybody wants to know this big question out there.
Sure.
Like, how much do I have to pay in order to live there? Are there any monthly fees? What's going to happen to the property when I pass on?
Okay. Ranging, depending on the size of the unit, the prices will range from 600,000 Sing up to 850,000 Sing. That's for a 90-year lease. There's a monthly fee of 500 Sing, which covers all the maintenance and sinking costs, etc. And there's also quit rent and assessment taxes, which are payable, but they're around about 700 Sing a year. So all of those are relevant. When a person passes on, they've got a 90-year lease, or they choose to move out, they go somewhere else. There's a couple of options of how we can work it. One is they get a percentage of their ingoing payment back, which is at the moment 80% of their ingoing. So if they pay 800,000, they get 640 back to the estate or to themselves if they move out. Plus they get 20% of the capital gain. So if they paid 800,000 when they moved in and it's on sold by us when they move out of 1.2, they get 20% of the 400,000 capital gain. So they get 720 back for an initial ingoing of 800,000. Okay. Yeah. We say that this is not a property deal. If you want to buy an apartment and flip it in 5 years and make a profit, go somewhere else. This is a lifestyle deal. It's for people to invest in their own lifestyle. So you can do much better buying property elsewhere and you get a much bigger return. But if you want the ultimate lifestyle, this is an option. So it's up to you.
So we had one additional question. So what's the transfer charges in future if they want to transfer it to a family member?
No charge.
Do they need to go through a lawyer?
We just give them the option to do it.
Okay, great. And we'll release more details after this webinar if Jeff wants to share about the maybe just a one page on the pricing so that all of you are clearer on what's the cost involved. I think for many retirees it's always about advanced planning, and if I'm going to retire tomorrow at 70 years old, will I have enough money to move to a development like this, and how many years of service fees will I be able to support? So I think these are all key questions that they would love to find out a little bit more from Jeff after the webinar as well.
Sure. And we've also got a marketing document which we can send you for each of the resorts, and you can distribute those to your members, Janice.
Yeah, sure, no problem. We've got another question. Talking about the wonderful facilities like fine dining, spas, and luxurious activities. If you project it for a 10-year period, how much would the fees cost?
Well, all of those things are on a user basis, right?
Okay.
So you pay your 500 Sing a month for the overall fee.
Yeah.
And that gives you certain discounts in the spa and in the restaurant.
Yeah.
But if you go down and have a meal, you have to pay a certain fee for the meal. It's not exorbitant, but it's fair.
Okay.
Yeah?
Great.
Because we don't know if someone's going to have, as I say, 10 massages a day or one every month. So it's unfair to have a standard rate for everyone.
Yeah.
Just going
so it's
back
a $500 credit system. Great.
Sorry?
So it's a $500 credit system on the monthly basis, which works like a regular club.
No. The $500 goes to pay for the overheads and staff maintenance and management, all of those things, maintenance sinking fund. but they get 5 free hours of nursing every month.
Okay.
They get a percentage discount in the restaurant. They get a percentage discount in the spa. So that's where it's at. Just going back to the leases as well, we give a 90-year lease. If at the end of the time, let's say mum and dad pass away and the family want to resell it through us, which is the only way they can, if they want to top up the lease, they can pay extra to add more years so it's more attractive. We wanted to give a 90-year lease, as we know not many people will last 90 years, but it gives a good value for the on-selling.
We've got a question here. Just inquiring about, because this project looks great. It's ready to live in. Was this a project you conceptualized from start, or was it acquired from a resort?
Acquired from a resort.
Okay, so that's why we are able to quickly put in all the services of Angel's Care, I suppose.
Yes.
And it's really about. I think this is one of the ready solutions that we see in the market that can quickly address the needs of the aging population.
Yes.
The topic of building of villages in Malaysia has been around for quite a number of years. And it's good to be able to see a project that we could visit and also potentially live in. But if I'm a retiree and I wanted to make a purchase, usually I want to try it first. So do you have rental options or trial stays available?
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that? This was a question that just came in. Are rental options available at Putri?
Sure. If they pay a booking fee, not a whole lot of, people just coming across for a week's rental and then disappearing. If they're serious, then yes. Now, the other option is, at the moment, if people get a medical certificate from Singapore doctors saying they're clear of COVID, they can cross into Malaysia and go into 2 weeks isolation. It's possible they can do that and then move into Putri Cove or Tiara Desaru, if they're seriously wanting that earlier than the lockdown. The lockdown might last for another 12 months. We don't know. It might last, they might get a second spike after they ease the lockdown and everyone gets scared again. I think it might last a long time until a vaccination is available.
Definitely. I think we're all concerned with how long the lockdown is going to take place.
Yeah.
I just had a really interesting question that came in, and many people as they age, they would like to customize many of the things in their own house because it's your own home. So I would buy my own artwork on the walls and I want to put up a certain shelving. Is there any restrictions to the amount of renovations I can do to the unit that I purchase? Is it all free for me to decorate as I please?
Yes. And we've got an in-house architect who's currently in Switzerland, and she does interior designs for people on a bespoke basis. So you can have completely bare, or you can have semi-furnished or half, completed, or you can bring all of your own furniture from your apartment, wherever you're coming from. 50-50, you can have a selection from our palette of furniture, etc. We're totally flexible. We want the people to be happy, right? We want the best possible environment, so we're flexible.
Well, right on that topic of happy, I mean, as the conceptualizer behind this, what is your vision of happy aging? Can you share with our audience today? My
personal vision?
Yes. Well, you're the conceptualizer behind this project, and your vision would be really interesting for all of us to hear.
Okay. Firstly, you need good quality food, fresh, good, well-cooked food. You need good physical services like massage, spa, gym, yoga, all of those things. You need good medical attention instantly if you require it. Now, personally, I don't, but anyone, it's nice to know, I press the button, the butler will come. At 2 a.m, if I need him, he'll go and get me tickets to fly to Switzerland. Right? Or he'll go and get me tickets for the opera in Singapore, or he'll polish my shoes, or he'll make me a donut bake or something. The butler is there for whatever you need 24 hours a day. So that's a nice thing to have. And I know I'm secure. There's good security at these resorts, so I'm not going to get attacked or robbed. All of those things, which give you a luxury lifestyle. You don't have to worry. You've worked hard. You've made a bit of money. You want to relax in comfort. You can still do your business from the resort, serviced offices, or from your own room. There's very high level Wi-Fi, etc. And I don't have to worry. And the interconnectivity internationally, I can say, well, I'm going to go and ski in the Swiss Alps for 3 months. It's only going to cost me a very small fee. It's nothing like a nightly hotel fee. And then I might go up to France, or I might go to the Gold Coast, or anything. So that to me is the ideal lifestyle. And my friends, when we first conceptualized this in a think tank dinner party, they all threw in their wishes of what they wanted for the rest of their life. And we've tried to include all of those things in our concept.
Yeah. Well, I just had I think that's a wonderful way to define your vision of happy aging. And I'll share with you a little bit more about my vision for happy aging a little bit later. We just had some questions come in. Many people are used to having their own personal domestic helper who would come in to assist them and live with them. And many of them live with a companion right now. Is it possible to bring in someone to live with you at Putri Harbour?
Yes. In fact, some of the apartments have got a separate maid's quarters and a separate kitchen, etc.
And how about the visa requirements? I mean, how does that work?
For the residents, they have to apply for MM2H, but we believe that will be easily fixed. We've been told by Scanda Regional Development Authority they'll facilitate MM2H, but we've got other agents as well. If they want to bring in their own maid, let's say she's Filipino or Indonesian, they'll have to organise those, but we'll assist them.
Okay.
We'll assist them. But we can't guarantee. It's all on an individual basis, so we can't guarantee.
And also the other thing is, given the way we've transformed the role of the domestic helpers today, many of them have now become companions and friends to the elders. And within the facilities, will they be able to enjoy the same services together with the elders? For example, if I'm an elderly person and I'm age 75 and I want to bring my helper along and I want her to do the activities together with me. So there's no distinction in that. And if I'm willing to pay for her consumption of services, is there any limitations to the services you can use?
No, it's unlimited. If the person lives in your apartment residence, then you're accepted as a tenant and a resident of Scarisbrick.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think that the role of the helpers has evolved over time. In the past, it was strictly just household duties and assistance. Today, I see many of the elders in Singapore who have, I guess, created a new role for their helpers into more like a personal secretary and concierge for them. And I think many of them treat them like family members today. So I think they'll definitely be pleased that there's an option available for them to live together and to enjoy the services together. Definitely, I think that's great. One question came in, what's the price difference between a unit that is completely empty compared to one that has furnishings? I mean, if I'm a retiree and I say I'm willing to pay for all the furnishings, what is the price comparison you could share with me between moving into a unit that is completely empty and a unit that's pre-furnished by your designer?
We'd probably have to go through it, see what sort of alternate they wanted to give them the price reduction.
Yeah, so I think that's a question that we can take offline, and we can request for a quotation personally from Jeff, and I'm sure
Yeah.
he'll get it through to
Yeah,
us.
sure.
No problem.
It'll be significant. You know, we'll be fair about it. We're not in this to make a huge profit. We want to make a fantastic product.
Mm.
We want to be the
Great.
best in the world, and that's the basis. So we're not there to rip off people. If the furniture that we deduct is worth 50, we're not going to say take 30 off. It'll be fair.
Yeah. And also, other than just the helpers staying together with us, one of the participants here has a question. She would like her sister to move in with her. Would she be considered a second tenant and she can use all the facilities and discounts? Or will
Yep.
you have to pay extra for every new person that moves in? Is the cost of the services based on per unit or per person?
Per unit.
Great, great. All right. So we hope that that answers most of the questions. One more just came in. Will the public be allowed to use the restaurant services and the spa services? Is it like a co-sharing between the public and the residents, or is
No.
it just completely private?
Just completely private. But for example, in Putri Cove, there's already 200 residents who won't be Scarisbrick, but will eventually maybe buy into Scarisbrick's membership. But they will have use of the spa, but not the exclusive restaurant.
Okay.
So it will be totally Scarisbrick members, exclusive. Now, the only time the public will be allowed in is if we're running a weekly conference on anti-aging. So external people will be able to subscribe and stay in the empty apartments, which might be invested in departments. Do the course, use the facilities, but they'll all be under our strict supervision and will be subscribers and pay a fee.
Yeah, okay, got it, thank you. There's a question here. Is there any estate duty in Malaysia if the owner passes on?
I don't think so, but I can check on that legally for you.
Okay, we'll check on that question for you. Thanks for submitting that question. So after this, all of you who have submitted the questions, we'll delve more in depth to provide you with the full details of the answers. One more that came in is this part of the larger Putri Cove development, Jeff?
Yeah. So Putri Cove at the moment's got 3 towers. At the moment, we're in the first stage offering 50 of the apartments in Tower 2, and we'll expand into other areas if we get the interest, which we believe we will.
Great. All right. If there's any more questions, feel free to send it in. We have time for one more question if it comes in. If not, we will actually ask, okay, one question. Is there a limit to the number of residents that you have? I believe that you have 50 apartments available. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yep, in stage 1.
Yes, okay. And this question looks good for you. After booking, how fast can we move in?
As soon as you want.
Fantastic. And on that note, I would like to invite Jeff to maybe in one sentence tell us what is the, in a very short sentence, what is the thing you love most about living at Putri Cove?
Unfortunately, I don't even live there yet, but the thing that I would love most from what I've been and involved and all the design that we're looking at and conceptualize is the ease of living with the quality of lifestyle and knowing everything is at my fingertips with the push button. Anything
Great.
that anything I want, I can push button and the butler will provide.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your sharing today, Jeff. And
Thanks,
earlier
Jeff.
on, I promised you guys that I would share a quick vision on how I envision life as I age. What does happy aging mean to me? So, I am 40 this year, and when I think about aging, I've actually started thinking about it from about 10 years ago, and aging impacts all of us at any age. So when some people ask me why at 30, why do you want to think about aging? I think about the people around me. I think about my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my aunties, uncles, and I think about those who have passed on, those who have been through medical issues, And then I think for myself, what is the entire process I want as I age, and what would make me happy as I age? And I find that it all boils down to how can I extend the longevity of my health? How can I stay independent for as long as possible? Create a community of friends. I would love that all my friends would live in the same building, but different units. We all want to have our space. I love that my parents and loved ones are staying close by as well, but everybody has their own independent space. And I think happy aging really boils down to being healthier as we age, being more independent, and also having the dignity to be able to look after ourselves as much as possible. And I think that's going to be my future vision for happy aging. And I'm very happy today that we had Jeff Harrison share with us some of the options available from across the causeway. For many Singaporeans, prices of housing is really, really high here. And in future, we really have to think about how much we need to set aside for retirement, what is the kind of lifestyle that we want, what are the other solutions available to us. And I hope that today's webinar has provided all of us with just some quick thoughts and ideas about how we'd like to age in future. So thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you very much to everybody who's attended today. We're very pleased that in this very first webinar that we've organized to look at retirement living options, we've had close to 60 participants who have taken part. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you very much, Janice. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.